Reigns finally breaks silence on The Rock challenging him, the best and worst of WWE Raw Day 1. Dominic Mysterio gets booed in his hometown. WWE fans notice major botch in Becky Lynch's match on Raw. Becky Lynch takes a break from WWE. Another big twist as Damian Priest attempts to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. Triple H brings back iconic Seth Rollins moment. Unique reason for The Rock's diminished popularity. Let's jump right into it. The best and worst of WWE Raw Day 1. The Day 1 edition of WWE Raw set the stage for a memorable few months ahead, with several big matches and moments. This show indeed was presented as a huge deal, adopting a premium live event feel at times. There were some overwhelming positives, while a few moments stood out negatively. So without further ado, let's look at the best and worst of tonight's episode of WWE Raw. Day 1 edition. Number 3. Best. WWE Raw Day 1 kicks off with a bang. Tonight's big show started with a brilliant match between Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. The two have shared quite a history, but never actually wrestled in singles competition before. That being said, Jax and Lynch completely showed out on Day 1. The man helped her rival to one of the best matches of her career as the two engaged in intense combat. It was hard-hitting, as one would expect. The finish was also solid as Nia Jax punched Becky Lynch before coming out on top. This wasn't the first time Big Time Bex was left with a bloody face. Lynch vs. Jax wasn't the only women's match that stood out on WWE Raw, as Rhea Ripley and Ivy Nile also had great showings. Mammy retained her Women's World Championship following a solid effort. Number 2. Worst. Cody Rhodes' limited role at Day 1. On one hand, the feud between Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke Nakamura is almost over. However, it still felt like not much was happening with the American Nightmare. On a significant episode of WWE Raw, with the stars coming out, Rhodes probably should have had a bigger role. Cody's promo was solid, as was Nakamura's video package on the Titantron. But that was it. No real action. This clearly felt like a placeholder segment, which isn't ideal for the American Nightmare. Hopefully, he will have a more exciting road to the Royal Rumble next week and onwards. Number 2. Best. A great main event. Seth Rollins vs. Drew McIntyre felt massive at WWE Raw Day 1, with their story being told expertly. The two contested in a titanic battle for the World Heavyweight Championship, with several near falls engaging the crowd. We also got the potential of Money in the Bank cash-in when Damian Priest came out before he was thwarted by the Scottish Warrior. The challenger came agonizingly close to winning and even hit a claymore. After Rollins' foot accidentally landed on the rope, he rallied to come out victorious. It's a shame for McIntyre, but he can take some pride from an incredible performance. The intrigue surrounding the Visionary's title reign can be felt following WWE Raw Day 1. Who will he face at the Royal Rumble? When will Priest actually cash in? What about CM Punk? Number 1. Worst. Giovanni Vinci's head injury. We witnessed an unfortunate real-life injury at WWE Raw Day 1 as Imperium's Giovanni Vinci was unable to continue wrestling as planned. He and Ludwig Kaiser took on Kofi Kingston and Jey Uso in tag team action, in a match the heels were expected to lose. Kaiser and Vinci did lose, but not in the expected manner. A stiff dropkick from Kingston caught the Italian star extremely hard as his head hit the mat. Referees checked on Giovanni Vinci, and he was deemed unable to continue due to a potential concussion. He seemed to walk it off, but safety always comes first in a wrestling ring. Hopefully, Vinci will recover quickly from this. Number 1. Best. It's happening. Bo Triple H, you nearly got us. Speculation ran wild after the game essentially confirmed a former world champion was returning at WWE Raw Day 1. However, the disappointment was real when Jinder Mahal's music hit. He proceeded to cut an anti-American promo before the real surprise came out. The Rock returned to a huge pop. He proceeded to have some fun with the people, while the modern-day Maharaja played a solid supporting role. The Great One decimated Mahal on the microphone and laid him out, but the main story came afterward. It's been a few years coming, but WWE Raw Day 1 played host to the official start of The Rock's journey towards Roman Reigns. The Hollywood megastar mentioned sitting at the head of the table, essentially confirming he is going after the tribal chief. It's finally happening. What did you think of the Day 1 edition of WWE Raw? Let us know in the comments section below. Dominic Mysterio gets booed in his hometown. Dominic Mysterio has become one of the most hated heels in WWE. He was booed out of the building in his hometown at Raw Day 1, drawing a reaction from former WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion JD McDonough. Dominic had a rough Monday night to kick off 2024. He was part of a segment involving The Miz, R-Truth, and JD McDonough. The Miz welcomed Judgment Day's R-Truth on Raw, leading to Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough coming out to the middle. Truth reminded McDonough that he was no longer part of the Judgment Day after he lost to the Legend a couple of weeks ago. Their war of words led to Miz and Truth reuniting the Awesome Truth to face Mysterio and McDonough. The A-lister hit McDonough with a skull-crushing finale to pick up the win for his side. Following the loss, JD took to X, formerly Twitter, to claim that Dominic Mysterio was booed out of the building in his hometown on Monday. He took a shot at the fans in San Diego to stay in character. Dirty at Dom Mysterio 35 was booed out the building in his hometown tonight, and honestly, I think that says more about the people of San Diego personally. Scummy. R-Truth defeated JD McDonough late last year to kick him out of the Judgment Day. However, the other group members want McDonough to stay in the group as they don't want Truth to be a part of it. R-Truth reunited with The Miz for one night only to face Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough in a tag team match. Truth was again on the winning end and continued to make his case for becoming a full-time member of the Judgment Day. During the contest, Truth recreated an iconic moment from WrestleMania 24 in 2008 when Shawn Michaels hit Ric Flair with the final sweet chin music. He utters, "Sorry, I love you," before finishing the 16-time world champion's WWE career. R-Truth did something similar before hitting McDonough with a move on Monday night. The WWE legend continued to add the entertainment factor to Raw and gave the Judgment Day another iconic moment to remember. Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough kicked off the year with a loss. Meanwhile, Rhea Ripley of the Judgment Day was successful in retaining her World Women's Championship after defeating Ivy Nile. Do you see Dominic as a future WWE World Champion? WWE fans noticed major botch in Becky Lynch's match on Raw. Becky Lynch kicked off this week's episode of WWE Raw Day 1 special event by taking on Nia Jax in a major grudge match. Lynch was able to get in a lot of offense before Jax defeated her in one of the biggest surprises of the night, but while many fans were talking about Lynch once again being busted open by Jax, several others picked up on a major botch. Midway through the match, when Jax was on the apron, she appeared to be going for a leg drop on Becky, but instead delivered a kick to the man's face, which clearly did not touch her. Despite making no contact with Jax, Lynch still took a bump from the move before feeding up and going on to hit the ropes. Jax dominated the match and even delivered a Simone drop for a near fall a few minutes later before she was able to secure the win following the Banzai drop. This is a huge win for Jax and could mean that she will be pushed forward on Raw in the coming weeks now that Rhea Ripley is in need of a new challenger. Did you spot this botch on Raw? Becky Lynch takes a break from WWE. Former WWE head writer Vince Russo believes Becky Lynch might take a break from in-ring action and return to face the three-time champion Nia Jax at WrestleMania 40. Lynch and Jax are currently in a heated feud. The duo locked horns on the Day 1 edition of Monday Night Raw, where the man started the match strong. However, the irresistible force quickly turned the bout in her favor as she showed her sheer power against the WWE Grand Slam champion. The match ended in Jax's favor after she hit her opponent with the Annihilator. While speaking on the latest edition of Sportskeeda Wrestling's Legion of Raw podcast, former WWE head writer Vince Russo said that he believes the Stanford-based promotion was doing nothing to advance Becky Lynch's character at the moment. I'm gonna say this, I think there's either one of two things happening here. Bro, first of all, let's just put our cards on the table and let's be honest. They've WWE done nothing with Becky Lynch. I mean, absolutely nothing. She wrestles matches, she was doing the NXT thing for a while. But they have done nothing to advance her character at all, Vince Russo said. Vince Russo further mentioned that he believes the man might take a break from in-ring action and return to face Nia Jax at WrestleMania 40. So either one of two things is happening here, bro. Either we're setting up for a rematch where Becky is going to go over and maybe that is WrestleMania, who knows, or bro, I would not be surprised if Becky wanted a little bit of time off and maybe they do both. Maybe Becky now does get a little time off, but then she comes back to face Nia Jax at WrestleMania perhaps, Vince Russo said. The fans want Becky to go after Rhea Ripley instead of Nia Jax and win the Women's World Championship. What the Stanford-based promotion has planned for the man's future remains to be seen. Are you enjoying the feud between Becky Lynch and Nia Jax in WWE? Another big twist as Damian Priest attempts to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. Damian Priest attempted to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase tonight. Once again, his attempt was thwarted, but there was a big twist as well. This week, on the main event of Raw, Seth Rollins put the World Heavyweight Championship on the line against Drew McIntyre. It was a close contest that led to Damian Priest coming out with Dominic Mysterio to cash in the NITB briefcase. This time, he was on the verge of doing exactly that. However, a big twist occurred as Drew McIntyre hit the Claymore kick on Priest before taking out Dominic Mysterio. In the meantime, he tried taking out Seth Rollins and was a split microsecond away from winning the title, only for him to lift Rollins' leg too far inside, allowing the champion to get his foot on the rope. The guaranteed win for McIntyre slipped away in an instant as he was hit with a stomp for Seth Rollins to retain his title. The show ended as Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio stood at ringside, frustrated at yet another thwarted attempt. It will be interesting to see how it plays out because Priest has until July to cash in his briefcase. Triple H brings back iconic Seth Rollins moment. Triple H books Seth Rollins to retain his World Heavyweight Championship at WWE Raw Day 1. The Visionary successfully defended his championship against Drew McIntyre. This was the Scottish Warrior's first pinfall loss on television since September 2021. The match featured plenty of callbacks to Rollins' previous world title defenses. The Visionary narrowly managed to avoid a pinfall loss by accidentally placing his feet on the second rope for a rope break. This was a subtle callback to his world title defense against Neville Pack in 2015. Rollins also survived another Money in the Bank cash-in attempt by Damian Priest. The Archer of Infamy arrived at the ring flanked by Dominic Mysterio and a referee. However, his attempt was thwarted by a Claymore from McIntyre. It remains to be seen what Triple H will have in store for the three main eventers in the coming days. McIntyre has lost his rematch against Rollins, so he won't probably be challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship again. Seth Rollins has adopted Triple H's pedigree finisher as a signature move. The Monday Night Messiah paid tribute to his mentor with two pedigrees during the match. Rollins delivered the first pedigree inside the ring. He used the same move to plant Drew McIntyre on the announcer's desk. The Visionary capitalized on his momentum by putting away the Scottish psychopath with a curb stomp for the win. Fans might have to wait to find out about his opponent at the 2024 Royal Rumble. Unique reason for The Rock's diminished popularity. Former WWE head writer Vince Russo feels The Rock has lost a bit of his popularity of late. The Brahma Bull made a surprise appearance on Monday Night Raw Day 1. The veteran star laid the smackdown on Jinder Mahal and then hinted that he wanted to go after the head of the table, Roman Reigns. This week on Legion of Raw, Vince Russo mentioned that the People's Champ lost a bit of his popularity after he aired his political aspirations. The former writer felt that the star's political views alienated a section of the casual fans. However, Russo made it clear that Rock was still immensely popular. There was no one else on his level. I don't think The Rock has the shine he used to have. I think a lot of that has to do with there was a point where Rock became a little political and threw his hat in the political ring a little bit. People don't like that. I don't think that had a positive effect. If anything, I think it had a negative effect. Now The Rock is The Rock, and there will never ever be another Rock, but I don't know if he still has that shine with the casual fan. It will be interesting to see if WWE does indeed move forward with Rock versus Reigns for WrestleMania 40. What did you think of the Brahma Bull's return on Raw? Roman Reigns finally breaks silence on The Rock challenging him. Roman Reigns has recently reacted to The Rock referencing him on tonight's Day 1 edition of WWE Raw on social media. During the latest episode of Monday Night Raw, The Rock made his huge return to a loud pop from the fans in attendance. The People's Champion then cut a promo on Jinder Mahal and left him embarrassed in front of the capacity crowd. The Brahma Bull also hit the People's Elbow on Mahal before referencing Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns took to Twitter and reacted to The Rock's promo with a face with tears of joy emoji. The Rock versus Roman Reigns is one of the biggest dream bouts that has not happened yet. The real-life cousins are two of the greatest superstars in WWE's history, and a singles match pitting the duo is bound to sell out a major event like WrestleMania. The Rock revealed last year that he was slated to face Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 39. Unfortunately, that did not happen, and Reigns wrestled Cody Rhodes on night 2 of WrestleMania 39. Many fans believe that Cody would get to finish his story at WrestleMania 40, but it seems like The Rock's return could change things quickly on the road to the show of shows. Drop your reactions to Reigns' tweet addressed to The Rock in the comments section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and